And we're back.
Can you believe it? Oh yeah, it's been a while since we've done that.
The people that have been with us for a while, when they said, "Hey, stick around for part 2," there was probably people like Cliff. I guarantee he's going, "Yeah, there's about a 70% chance this thing don't come back."
Well, it doesn't even seem like a week.
It didn't even feel like it was a week ago, does it? It's crazy. We're all wearing the same clothes.
What's only the clothes I have?
It's true.
We're trying
to save on the laundry bills.
That's
really.
right. Trying to save on the laundry bill. We are back in studio with our good friend Henry, talking about his trips to Africa. We've talked about elephant hunts. We've talked about, just finished up talking about his hippo, which is in one of the episodes. But we did take a little break. And
if you missed part 1, you need to go back and watch part 1 right now before you watch part 2.
Yeah, you're going to be totally lost.
You're going to be totally lost.
Yeah,
you have no context.
Listen. This is there's a good storyline here. Okay,
it's a process.
This isn't the Scream movies.
No. You can
just hop in and Scream 3 and figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Guys just running around with that mask killing people.
This is more like John Wick then.
It's got a little John Wick. Yeah.
It's got John
we got to
Wick.
know about the dog dead before we can
that's
hop
right.
in. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right.
You know who turned me on to really, like, I didn't want, I don't know. I like Keanu Reeves. And I'll tell you what's made me appreciate Keanu Reeves more.
His speaking ability.
It's definitely is that he's a gun guy.
Oh, I know.
He's a gun guy. Like, he is legit.
Martial arts guy.
He's a legit 3-gun match shooter.
Yep.
And it ain't no joke. Nope. Like, there's videos out here of him doing that, and he's legit 2A, loves to shoot firearms, loves to shoot guns. And there's some other guys like that. Post Malone. A lot of people don't know Post Malone. He's a big gun guy.
Right.
He's a big 3-gun match shooter. Enjoys shooting firearms, and so as a brotherhood of 2As, we got to stick together a little bit,
Absolutely.
right? But I haven't always been a giant fan of Keanu Reeves's acting. He is better than
your favorite.
Who would that be, Adam?
Your favorite actor, Nicolas Cage.
The worst actor on the planet. I can't stand Nicolas Cage. I cannot handle it. It's so bad. I can't. I'm not a Nicolas Cage.
What do you think about Nicolas Cage, Henry?
Well, as a person that does not watch movies, and I do not watch movies with the exception of on the airplane going to Africa or back.
So you can get a couple in.
And
probably a Nicolas Cage movie or two.
That's where I've been able to watch all the John Wick movies. And so I've watched them all on the airplane 2 or 3 times.
I give a shout out to Kalina Mache.
Yeah.
Is the reason that
she got you on the John Wick movies?
She did. Kalina's a big John Wick guy.
Yeah.
I never heard of John Wick until a few years ago. I got this firearm into the store. As you know, in our store, we tried to keep all the newest stuff. And so one of them come in, it was a John Wick commemorative Bond Arms.
Did Bond Arms made a John Wick?
They made a John Wick.
Shut up.
It's a hoot to shoot.
And so
Bond Arms, they're a hoot to shoot. That used to be their tagline.
Yep.
Did you know
So I got this thing in, and a fellow that was working for me at the time, good guy, David Cochran, looked at that and he said, "John Wick!" And then everybody started going crazy. I said, "So what? What's a John Wick?" And they said, "You're not familiar with John?" I said, "Never heard of it." So anyway, I put it on display.
Killed his dog,
all the customers came in, and they were talking about it. So I said, okay. So then I went trying to find it. I couldn't find it. So I didn't see that movie for a year or so later after we sold that firearm. And then they were out of it. I didn't get any more.
Somebody had at SHOT Show the John Wick car in their booth, the wrecked car from the movie. Was in their booth at SHOT Show. I don't remember who it was. It wasn't Bond Arms, but it was somebody, and it was a cool thing. Kalina climbed in it. Remember, we took a picture of Kalina
remember that
in John Wick's car. And she just that's really where it started. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I love John Wick."
Yeah, so they are fun movies.
Yeah, they are fun movies.
They are super
Well,
fun movies.
if you like action.
Yes, if you like action.
Well, and if you don't,
So
if you
to
don't
answer
like
your
action,
question, though, Adam, as far as what I think of Nicolas Cage, I'm sorry, I can't even tell you who he is.
You're not missing a lot.
I know who Keanu Reeves is because of John Wick, and I do not do movies because I refuse to support the lifestyle of most of the people that do movies.
The Matrix was good.
Yeah,
that he
Matrix
was
was good.
And the Matrix
Is that a
kind of
movie?
The Matrix has
Matrix
a
series.
lot of Christian parallels.
There's a lot of Christian parallels to it, and it's also it's an anti-system movie.
It's an anti-system movie, and it's
You would probably enjoy it, Henry, because there are these faith parallels. Like you take the red pill or the blue pill, Henry. Mm-hmm. No, that's in it. I mean, like you got to choose.
Really?
You got to make a choice.
That's where that term "red pilled" comes from. That is not a conservative term. That comes from the Matrix of going, I'm going to go behind the curtain, and it's been adopted by that.
That's kind of like the dilemma of when you go to church, do you sit on audience right or stage right?
Either one.
Where are you sitting, Henry?
Oh, I sit in audience right.
Okay.
Well, he's an audience right man.
So that puts the preacher on the left side, and I can I tell him about that occasionally that he's preaching from the left side.
Yeah. You're preaching way too much from the left.
You're preaching too much from the left. It's bothering Henry there a little bit. And then one of my all-time old favorite movies was Point Break.
Point Break.
Do you remember Point Break?
God,
it's Keanu Reeves
about it in a long time.
And Patrick Swayze.
Yeah.
And Patrick Swayze him and these surfer guys are bank robbers. And Keanu Reeves is an undercover FBI agent. He goes undercover as a surfer and gets in their little group to take them down. And it's a pretty good little flick.
Oh, good. Now I don't have to watch it.
Yeah, I've given the whole plot line away.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Anyway, Adam, you've got we took a little break from our podcast and we got a beverage, and I told you not to open it in the house because it's been a minute.
Yeah, I've been drinking coffee all morning, but then you got that out, and I was curious. So.
Oh, this is the Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
So, a little ASMR.
Drum roll.
There you go.
Oh, bro, that was nice. You gotta admit that was nice in those headphones, wasn't it, Henry?
I liked it.
I mean, it makes you thirsty, man.
Yeah, and it's
cheers.
It makes you thirsty. It hit.
If you like blackberry, that's like blackberry cobbler in a can.
I don't even know if I like blackberry, but I enjoy this.
Blackberry. It reminds me of a blackberry cobbler.
Are you a cobbler guy, Henry?
Yeah, kind of.
You hesitated.
Yeah. So I don't believe you.
I don't normally eat sweets too much.
What would be your sweet? It'd be like.
But I like cobbler.
What would be your if you had to you get one sweet? What would it be? What's your go-to?
Can we tell we're closer to lunch in this podcast?
Yeah, you can probably tell that.
What's your go-to sweet item if you got a sweet item?
Oh man.
See, I'm a cheesecake guy. I'm not a big sweet guy either. If you ask me, hey, you want 8 more ounces of a ribeye or a piece of cake, I'm gonna probably take 8 more ounces of a ribeye. But I like cheesecake.
I like cheesecake.
Yeah,
I do like cheesecake. And we used to have the city manager of our little town over there in Yukon. His wife used to make all these homemade cheesecakes, and absolutely the best cheesecake you'd ever eat in your life.
Wow, really?
It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. So,
okay.
Anyway, I like cheesecake.
Okay, so you're gonna hop on board with me on the cheesecake train? Okay.
I'll take the cheesecake, but I'll still take the ribeye.
Oh, amen. How do you take your ribeye?
Rare.
Rare?
Yeah.
He's a rare guy. I'm a medium rare guy.
That medium rare is okay.
Yeah. Anything above that starts getting a little weird.
How
much do you lose? I mean, if somebody ordered a medium steak, I lose a lot of respect for you.
Well, they absolutely don't even care what it tastes like.
I agree with that. I agree with that. They're like, I want a medium steak with A1 sauce. I mean,
Why don't you just eat the plate?
yeah, 100%. Same nutritional value.
Eat the napkin.
Eat the napkin. Yeah, 100%.
It's true.
100%. So we're going to hop back into talking about Africa here with Henry. We've covered all the other major topics that the world was. The 7 were. I know they were
really what they're here for.
The hard hitting questions.
The hard hitting questions, like
what kind of dessert did you like?
Yeah.
And how do you take your steak?
Yeah.
Those are the hard hitting. This is a great question before we hop into that. You get one firearm for the rest of your life, Henry. What's it going to be?
Oh man.
No, man. Because listen, I've seen your collection. I've seen stuff that people don't know that you have. I'm not
allegedly
have. You got some cool stuff.
We didn't allegedly see a bazooka.
No, I didn't see a bazooka.
I'm just trying to let their imaginations run wild.
Okay. All right. Anyway, FBI shows up. Henry's like, excuse me, Mr. Rizzo, we're going to have a conversation with you.
We're
Step
one
outside.
of the 7.
And then I'd have to show them that little flag or thing that goes on the wall. It says, "Come back with a warrant."
Yeah, that's exactly right. Come back with a warrant. Yep, 100%. So you get one firearm, Henry. What's it going to be?
Oh man, that is so tough. I mean,
should we categorize it to like a long rifle or a pistol first? Yeah. Just like you can have one pistol and one long rifle. How about that?
Okay, it's fine. It's not what I wanted to do. It's what you want to do. Fine.
But Henry, what do you want to do?
Let's do what you want to do, guys.
Well, probably one of the most fun guns to shoot that I have is an M14. I love my M14.
Yeah.
And so it'd probably be that one or my double rifle, the 450-400.
Okay.
And handgun wise, it would probably be Chris Kyle knew what he was doing with a TRP, so I'll take the TRP.
Okay.
Only I'll use 10 millimeter instead of 45. I love 45, but I've got a 6-inch 10 millimeter, which.
Yeah, you took it to Africa with you.
I did.
Did well with it.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Seen some cool pictures you posed up holding that pistol. Yeah. You shoot a zebra.
I did.
Shot a zebra with a pistol.
Yes.
Yeah, that's that picture of you, that zebra holding up that pistol.
68 so yards cool. Offhand.
So stinking cool.
Wow.
I'm horrible with a pistol, Henry. I'm not good with a pistol. Like, and maybe you can even help me with this, Henry, but when I look down the barrel of my pistol and I pull the trigger, it does not hit where I want it to. But if I have to adjust and shoot off the target, and it'll hit it.
Well, you're probably just shooting with the wrong eye, but that's oversimplification.
Yeah, maybe so. Or maybe I'm just not good at shooting with a pistol. But I'll tell you this: if it comes down, I got to shoot something.
Maybe you're just cattywampus.
If I gotta have to shoot something with a pistol, it's gonna be a spray and pray. We're just dumping a clip on you.
So you're more into a Glock 18.
Probably so. I am I carry my daily. It's an R1. I'm a 1911 guy.
Yeah,
I like 1911s. Love 1911s. Look cool. I like the bigger. I just like a bigger pistol. So, anyway, good. That's a good answer. Those are great answers for it. Just throwing, giving the people what they want.
Giving the people what they want.
Yeah. Sure.
So we'll hop back in. So we just talked about you killing a hippo, which was obviously. You can watch that on our YouTube channel or on Carbon TV. You can watch that episode. Just again, incredible. How that all transpired and shake down, and you're able to do that. But there's 2 parts to that episode, and the other part of that episode is that you hunt a lion. Mm-hmm. And so tell me about how that come about, how making that decision, I want to hunt a lion. Kind of give me the rundown on that.
Well, after taking a few plains game, being extremely blessed. The Lord has blessed me beyond me.
And were you able to? Had you seen some lions on some of your hunts too, or how?
I had seen some lion, but not really in the bush, so to speak.
Okay.
And so it came to a point where I decided that maybe I might like to try and do the Big Five. You know, I had some. And
Just
so
on a whim.
So yeah, I think it's, you know, and I'd always said I didn't care that much about a leopard. That was before I really knew. I didn't care that.
Is that before or after they were scratching on your tent?
Yeah, that was before.
Then did you have to have vengeance for the night of sleep you lost?
After they started scratching on a tent,
I'm going to kill all of you.
Somebody's going to die.
You take away one night of sleep from me, I'll wipe you off the face.
Somebody's going to die.
Petty, Henry.
So anyway, you know, I decided that I'll go ahead and see if I could get the Big Five. It's not very often that some poor country boy out here in the middle of the sticks of Oklahoma decides to be able to do it. And you know, you don't know my childhood particularly, but I'm telling you, we grew up extremely poor. And so.
And are you originally from Yukon?
No, not very far from there.
Where'd you grow up at?
Actually, closer to War Acres. It was actually in the city limits of War Acres.
Okay.
Was stomping
But nobody knew it was War Acres. I mean,
where in War Acres?
On the far south and west side.
I grew up on 82nd MacArthur.
Okay.
So right there behind the canal of Hefner.
Yep.
That was my place.
The canal people.
Well,
Canal
I
people.
grew up on 37th Street. My dad
Idle
built
loose soil.
My dad built that house in 1947. Well, we moved in 1947, and so we actually started building in 46, I guess, late 46. But anyway, he built that house, and we just my sister just sold it a year ago, and moved out. She got to where she couldn't. She's 90.
Yeah.
And she couldn't do it, and it was running me ragged, to tell you the truth, running back and forth between my place and that place, trying to keep it up, because, you know, maintenance on a house of that age is substantial, and it was constantly something, and so nonetheless, it all worked out for the best, and so that's, as they say, history. But it was quite amazing that a poor old country kid, you know, could actually live his dream of going to Africa and hunt someday. Because, like I mentioned before, when I was 3, that's what I decided I wanted to do someday, was go to Africa and hunt. And it took me 70 years to get there, but I got there.
I love it.
Yeah, my first trip I was 73, and so the rest is history, so to speak.
So when you're making that decision, I want to go after the Big Five and this lion, because you didn't just shoot. I mean, I'm no expert by any means, but I have seen Kendall. Like, once again, Kendall Jones I've been in her house. She has multiple lions mounted. I mean, I've seen some big, you know, some lions. But you go to Africa and you go after hit beautiful, big male. Yeah. Tell me about the hunt. Walk me through it.
The hunt was actually in the Kalahari Desert, and not too far from Namibia nor from Botswana. And so it's desolate over there.
Okay.
And so
a little bit like Raiden, Oklahoma, where I'm from.
Small difference, but very similar.
Small difference.
Mostly
on the things that could bite your face off.
Hey, I will say there was a mountain lion killed at Raiden in
1989. Yeah, they've got mountain lions.
That's such a cool story. We ever told that story?
I don't think we have ever talked about it.
That's a cool story. We need to put that on the note.
Yeah. I met that guy.
I know. Okay. I'm going to put it on my phone.
I don't see it mounted in here.
We won't remember. That is on my list. A mountain lion's on my list. I'd like to hunt a mountain lion. Look, is that on your list?
Going on the list right now.
You want to do that together?
Yeah, I'd love to.
I'd love to. I got a guy.
You got a guy?
I do got a guy.
All right, let's do it.
All right, I'm down. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Where's this at?
Well, there's a couple people. One, Trey in Wyoming. He said he's like, if I cut a track, he goes, you got to be here. You got to leave now.
Oh, really?
He's like, I mean, you got to come like right now. Like he's like, if you be here in 20
I'm usually
hours.
pretty free.
Exactly. You're retired, and I can call you up and say, let's go to Wyoming, and we're going to go right now.
Mexico's a good place for him.
And I know a guy in New Mexico that'll do it as well. So I know 2 places.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Locked in. Back.
My bag's in the truck.
You're ready to go. You're ready to go.
So anyway, decided to do this thing, and we put together a kind of an extended hunt. It's 3 weeks. I was gone 3 weeks. And it started off with a few days in Stanley Petersay's camp, which is unbelievable.
Was also realized that I've mispronounced his last name the entire time.
Actually, I probably do too. I think it's closer.
Well, if you do it, then you've done it to his face.
Yeah, it's I say Petersay. Some people say Petersa.
I say Patrice.
Well, it's like I was told it's like Peterson without the N. So it's probably closer to Petersa than it is Petersay. But I say Petersay. So anyway.
Just want to give a shout out to our sponsors at Union Pacific.
I'm going to laugh so hard.
Listen, I'm
easily bought.
I'm easily bought. All right. If we want to throw this out to UP,
yeah,
I'm in. Listen, I'll take it. All right. If UP wants to, that train whistle makes us give a shout out to Union Pacific, I'll do it.
All we want is chairs.
All we want is some comfortable chairs. 3. I just need a little bit more of a comfortable chair.
Just three.
Just three. We'll never have more than 3 people.
That's hardly
podcast.
More than
I don't know. We talked about having DeLacy and Josh.
No, that's true.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, we did talk about having DeLacy and Josh on the podcast. Anyway, so shout out to Union Pacific or Burlington Northern Santa Fe, whichever one wants to write a check.
Really anything that travels on a rail.
So we started that trip, like I say, it was kind of lengthy, about a little over 3 weeks. And first few days was spending Stanley's place, unbelievable lodge, and it's called SP Safaris.
It really is cool, like you see the pictures of it.
It's, I hate to say 5-star because 5-star makes it sound like hoity-toity, but
it is.
It's 5-star service.
I mean, I've got a little hoity-toity too.
I ain't mad about being hoity-toity.
I like being treated like that.
Yeah, man.
You know who's not happy about being hoity-toity?
You said this at
the people that are not being treated hoity-toity.
It's true. That's true. And you said this at the banquet too. Is that most people overpack when they go to Africa? How many pairs of clothes how many pairs of underwear you need, Henry?
Okay,
Well, it depends on what you're hunting, because if what you're hunting could cause you to ruin a pair of underwear. Let's just go ahead and throw that out there. If I'm chasing a lion or an elephant, if I'm 45 yards of an elephant, there's a decent chance I may need a clean pair of underwear.
Well,
or a hippo, he starts waving his tail at me like I'm fixing to come at you.
Yeah,
there's a chance.
You're waving your tail at him.
There's a chance.
The thing about Africa, though, is that there's plenty of places to bury
a pair of underwear that you soiled. You can dig a hole to bury a pair of underwear.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, you just better hope it doesn't happen twice. Have 2 encounters in one night.
Quickly gone commando on this trip.
But to answer your question, I try and take. I like to when we come in out of the field in the evening time. I like to shower before, and then go to the campfire and have sit around and drink. As you know, I don't drink alcohol.
Right.
I don't condemn those that do. I just don't.
Yeah.
But I love the taste of beer, so Stanley always supplies me well with non-alcoholic beer.
Okay.
So, and I like that. Now, there's also
O'Doyle's. Isn't that what
O'Doyle's or whatever it is?
There's another.
There's all kinds.
There's all kinds of them.
Yeah. He'll have 6 or so brands of non-alcoholic beer for me to choose.
Okay.
Oh, he treats me like beautiful. I'm telling you. And so then I like the tea. He has cans of tea that we can't get here. It's Lipton, but we can't get it, of different flavors. It's awfully good for cold drink. And but anyhow, to answer your question, I like to have a clean shirt for that.
Yeah.
And trousers, and then the next morning, my hunting gear, I use trousers and a new shirt, obviously, and so forth. But usually, I take 3 extra pair of everything, 3 extra pair of socks, besides what I'm wearing on the plane, and 3 pair of socks, 3 pair of drawers, underwear. I usually take about 3 or 4 T-shirts.
Okay.
Camo T-shirts, a couple of short sleeve and a couple of long sleeve, and then 3 long sleeve shirts.
Okay.
And at least one short sleeve shirt.
So I mean, you're not talking about a lot of stuff. I mean, honestly, almost
put it all in
everything
the
you mentioned.
backpack.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, you're packing in a duffel bag. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You can put it all in a backpack.
Wow.
So, and then I usually carry quite a bit of stuff that I take, and Stanley has 2 boys. I like to take them something, and I'd mentioned before Peter Vermaak, who
Yeah, they're
is
one of
my
your
favorite
guides.
PH. He's him and his wife, and he's got 2 boys, and I like to take them something.
And I know we have some people too that aren't as familiar with hunting that are listeners. And PH, tell everybody what PH stands for.
PH stands for Professional Hunter.
Yeah.
And they are what we would designate as a guide.
Yeah, an outfitted guide. Yeah.
But in Africa, a PH is a licensed PH, and so they have a number of years of study that they have to do, both in and out of the field, so on and so forth, to become a licensed PH. And then you have South Africa has licensed PH. Then if they're going to guide in Namibia, they have to have a Namibian license. The same in Botswana, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Tanzania.
Right.
You maybe never would have had that experience in Nebraska if we had some of that kind of regulation here.
Boy, man. Yeah, I've had some.
You need to go back and listen to that episode. It's called Old Rowdy. Lots of good stuff in that one.
Henry, if that would be, first off, it would make you appreciate Stanley
The
more.
PH scenario.
But I do share about some of my worst hunting experiences.
Well, I
with
thought
guides.
I had watched all the episodes, but maybe I missed one.
If you haven't watched Old Rowdy,
I don't pay attention to the
that
names.
podcast, Old
I have
Rowdy.
a fast forward thing that I can skip over the names.
Yeah, well, maybe that's the case. Old Rowdy the podcast. Go if you. That's not an
podcast.
Yeah, one of the podcasts called Old Rowdy.
Could you imagine if that was an episode?
Okay.
It would be.
I mean, there's footage from.
I know
there.
there's footage, but
There's footage of me and Brant sitting.
it is good
75
enough.
yards from that bar in that one man porta potty blind.
Like, I've thought multiple times about making that into a movie. I legit have.
I don't know who's going to play Crawdad. I don't know who's going to play.
I'm going to have to
Brett
watch
will.
the podcast.
You know what? You know what?
Just grease him up a little bit.
You know what? There's some similarities.
There's some similarities. Old
If
Crawdad.
if I gave Brett, if I got him to smoke a crack pipe for 4 years, if I got 4 years of it into him, they would have a lot of physical characteristics.
gotta
They're the same build person.
We got to get Brett all methed up.
I got to get Breath all methed up. Would have to be. I had a really bad guided experience in Nebraska.
Go check out Old Rowdy.
I'm going to have to.
You'll have to. You'll have to go check it out and give it a listen. It's probably better to watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It is
to
a
see
case. It
Brant.
is a case. It is a.
Have you ever cussed in front of a preacher?
No.
I haven't either, but I had a guy with me who did one time, and it was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Oh, it was horrible. I just spoke at a church in front of like 1,500 men, and the preacher at this church, one of my Brant Hill, one of our staffers.
Just say his name.
I'm not protecting you. He in the church cussed in front of the preacher, telling a story. And the preacher never missed a beat, and I was just stood there, and I was like, I cannot believe I brought this idiot with me to Nebraska. It was in Kentucky. That was in Kentucky. We left Kentucky, and then we went to Nebraska, and it was a whole thing was a debacle. So it is a great story.
Go check it out.
It will make
will.
you, like I said, it will make you
Old Rowdy.
appreciate. It'll make you appreciate Stanley and his operation that much more.
Well, I'm telling you, his operation is second to none. When they come in, if even on the day that you leave,
there's some shady operations in South Africa.
there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
And that has become, and so this is one of the things I wanted to talk
And there's
about.
more
Obviously,
every day.
We're getting to the lion aspect of your trip, but
But we wanted to talk about Stanley.
I did want to talk about Stanley because you've already talked about one. He supports our ministry. You know, obviously it's good for his business. He's getting a hunter over there and all those things, but Stanley's a Christian. Stanley's a believer, and his family stands by that, and that's something that's important to him, and some of the people that work for him are believers. So that is something that we obviously have in common. But, you know, every person we've sent, we have had multiple people now that have gone and hunted with Stanley, and everybody says the exact same thing. They have the same testimony for him that you do, to say he is phenomenal. The lodging, the staff, the game, the food, all your preparation, all those things, top notch.
I believe the term was hoity-toity.
You feel a little hoity-toity. I like you.
Little hoity-toity.
You feel catered to.
Yeah.
And regardless of what it is. But
I mean, you're walking a little further than I want to walk. I'm just saying. 200-yard limit's getting pushed a couple times, but it's a special occasion.
Listen, Stanley has places for you too. He's
got the short bus hunting place.
He's got yes, and you don't even have to ride and climb up in the back of a truck if you don't want to. You can ride inside. And
so I don't get dusty.
If you don't want to do that, I'm sure they'd get you a trailer to pull you on. But anyway, they can take you right up to a blind.
Status in your life where you must be hauled by trailer.
Okay, you got a visual of this, right? Oh, you got a mental visual of this.
That makes you want to immediately go on a diet.
Well, you're the one that brought it up about size, me being so much smaller than you.
Well, you look at the video of us. I feel like I feel like I could put you in my pocket, Henry.
Well,
golly,
you know,
I mean, I'm a big man.
Yeah. But I used to be fatter, but I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm still fat, but I used to be fat. But
okay.
Anyway.
God, they wouldn't have to be pulled on a trailer.
Hey, they will accommodate you however you need.
It's a dual axle.
You know, let me tell you a quick story.
It's a load down gate. It loads down, so you can just
make sure you get that low boy trailer. We can't get this thing up very high.
With rollers on the ramp, and so we got you covered.
You ready to go eat some tacos?
Actually,
I am too.
I need a taco.
Or
listen,
ice cream.
No, I can't do ice cream anymore, Henry.
There's always room for a dairy coating. You talk about the sweets from earlier, okay?
Listen,
the sweets from earlier.
Listen,
it's ice cream for me.
Cheesecake,
ice cream,
cheesecake, ice cream.
I will eat the cheesecake, Henry. But within 27 minutes, I got to be within 7 foot of a toilet. My body during COVID fired the lactose intolerant. There's a lactose department. During COVID, I cannot do dairy.
Really?
It's just I can't. I mean, it's bad.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. We had a conversation with my HR department, and we brought dairy back on.
You did?
We did.
What happened?
I just forced it. I said, "No, you will submit, or this whole HR department's gone." And so we're back.
But trouble.
We're working through problems.
What a weird way to. Anyway, you
got to build up those immunities.
It doesn't work like
shock
that.
the system. You know,
it doesn't work like
shock
that.
the
Trust
system.
me, it does not.
It's been working.
I'm
just a glutton for punishment.
It's not how it works.
Keeps me regular.
This conversation has gone kind of stinky.
It really has. It's really been tainted.
Henry just fits right in, it's a puzzle piece that's been missing all along. Really,
he fits right in like a suppository.
The people are like, this feels like a more normal podcast.
Yeah, here we go. The FDO podcast is back to some normality.
Somebody's like, well, you just get on about the lion.
So Stanley, though, like you said, takes incredible care of you. Everybody we've sent has had the exact same thing to say about hunting with him. And then obviously you've harvested incredible. Like I said, I've been in your house. I've seen your giraffe. I've seen, all these incredible animals that are at your house. And, people do say, well, Brad, why haven't you been to Africa? And it's just a stage in life where I'm at. Is that Stanley has asked me and said, hey, I want you to come. And me and Adam actually had this lined up before COVID. We actually had airline tickets.
And even then we were like, I don't know how we're going to pull
even
this
after
off.
After COVID, you had line tickets.
Yes. So we were going to go to Africa. We were going to go do the whole thing. And Stanley said, hey, come over here. I want you to film. And we've talked about doing all those things. I'm just at a stage in life with my family, with my kids, that it's really, really difficult to be gone for. Because Stanley's like, I'd really love for you to be here for 2 weeks.
Yep.
Let's get it.
2 weeks. That's
a good time.
Yeah, it is a good time.
Oh, it'd be incredible.
1 week is kind of what most people do, but the first time or so. But 1 week just leaves you wanting more. And,
yeah.
So,
but I'm just afraid we would come. I'm afraid me and Anna would both come home to empty homes.
They would be like, you might go back to Africa because you can't come here.
And you may find that your return ticket was cashed in.
100%. Or I just reported missing, and then the life insurance is cashed.
Yeah.
Well,
because I promise you this, Henry, I'm worth a lot more dead than I am alive.
Yeah.
Well, most of us.
Yeah, 100%.
Most of us.
So
it's a little concerning when your wife's like, we should up your life insurance, because that's what Casey did to me. She was like, could we get another $250,000?
Did she really?
Why do you need that?
Did she really say that to you?
Well, it was mainly because we were looking at everything, and maybe she manipulated me. Now that I think about it,
sounds very much so like Casey.
Sounds like Casey.
I'm just kidding.
She's just after that cash.
She is greedy. You see it in her eyes.
Yeah,
see it in her eyes.
She's like
something to do with gender, doesn't it?
Maybe
now,
so, Henry.
Now that I'm up to.
I know we got to be careful, Henry. I feel like a majority of our audience is women.
I think they are, yeah.
6 out of 7?
6 out of 7 women.
Yeah, Jason.
Suggest.
Well, ballpark guy.
Ballpark guy, yeah.
We might be at 9.
We might be at 9. Could we go to 9?
We might be.
One of the 9. 7 just sounds. 7's the number of completion.
Because
there's some other guys. There's some other guys that have chimed in about where they're from.
Yeah. Jason Dunn.
Jason, but there's some of the other guys that always listen on.
With that many, I'm nervous.
Mr. May, my buddy. There's some other men. Anyway, let's get back to hunting Africa.
What are we
here.
talking about?
So you've made this decision. We're going after a lion, and walk me through this hunt a little bit.
Okay, to set it up, what I told Stanley, I said, because he was asking what I wanted to hunt, and I said, I think I'd like to finally get a lion, and he said, okay, I can make that happen. And he said, but it's going to take some time.
Okay.
And so we worked on this lion hunt for about a year, and in the meantime, the hippo hunt permit came along.
Okay.
And so they were close together, and so we were able to combine it into one trip, which lasted, like I said, about 3 weeks, which was unbelievable. But we started off by the first few days being in Stanley's camp, which we've already talked about being so phenomenal, and with men from our church that went, and there was 5 additional men. There were 6 of us total. That from our church, the Together We Baptist Church, or Together We Church in Yukon, and it was just a phenomenal hunt, and everyone that went basically got what they wanted.
That's awesome.
And not easily, but they got them, and including a Cape Buffalo. One fella, I won't tell you what his position was, but anyway, took a 56-inch kudu.
Wow,
that's a
giant.
That's a metal kudu.
Wow,
and beautiful, and shot that kudu with my gun, by the way.
Okay.
And I guess I shouldn't call it a gun because it's not. It's a rifle. Shot that kudu with my rifle, that 450-400. But anyway, we spent a few days there, and then I left them and went to Timbavati for the hippo. We were there for several days, and then went to the Kalahari, which is clear on the other side of South Africa. Now, most people don't understand or don't think about how big South Africa is.
Yeah, or the whole continent of Africa.
The whole continent of Africa is bigger than most people. The maps and everything distort the size of Africa, and don't realize that Africa is the size of the entire Russian area, everything. I mean, everything in Russia, the old Russian complex. But anyway, nonetheless, we drove from the far east side of Africa, South Africa, clear to the far west side of South Africa.
How long of a drive is that?
2 days. And we're talking
2-day drive.
We're talking
Wow.
hard driving. We're not talking about, well, let's lollygag along here and drive to Amarillo and spend the night, and then we'll drive to Albuquerque. No. We're talking hard driving. Not stopping. You stop to eat.
You left Oklahoma City and you stopped in Winslow, Arizona.
Yeah.
You booked it. That's a good haul if you're driving to California.
Further than that. We drove further than Winslow.
Okay. Wow.
More like, yeah. Oh, yeah. So
all
anyway,
the way to L.A.
That's a lot. Yeah.
it's a long haul.
Yeah.
So at any rate, we get into the Kalahari, and the Kalahari has you're on what they call tar road, which we call just paved road. Blacktop, and full of chug holes, but which is another story for South Africa. But anyway, have chug holes, and it's not too bad, so that you can drive along at 120 kilometers an hour. That's something like 70 miles an hour, something like that.
Okay.
Most of the way, and the majority of the roadway though is super slab, so to speak. So it's really nice road, 2 lane, but anyway. And so then you hit the dirt road, and when you enter into the Kalahari, and it's mostly drug, so that it's fairly smooth, but not too smooth. Like most roads around Oklahoma, even the dirt roads have become very washboardy, and
lose a feeling pretty quick.
I know all about that.
Yeah.
Adam
drives it every day.
Lincoln County roads are not okay.
Fallis, Oklahoma.
Yeah. So
not okay.
Not good roads. And there's I think there was I hate to spit a number out, but it seems like it was like 160 kilometers or something like that of the dirt road.
Man.
And anyway, to get to this camp where the lion are, and this camp is it's an open camp, but it's a lion hunting camp, if you will.
Okay.
Very nice facilities, and the people treat you very, very nicely. And Stanley's guiding all along, and Carlene is taking the pictures. I mean, she did a phenomenal job.
She really did do a really good job.
I wish her and her new husband come the 19th the very best.
I know. Listen, if I ever got over there and Adam wasn't able to go with me to film, I'm calling her up, man. No doubt.
Well, it would take a special okay from her husband, because Vellum is not a jealous person, but he wants her home.
I understand.
She's a worker on the farm as well. She knows everything to do as far as farming is concerned, and they have a large cattle operation, and as well as they have game animals as well.
Yeah.
They have King's wildebeest. They have 1,000 million kudu, and they've got everything else to go along with them.
Okay.
In that area. But anyway, the Kalahari is a different story. But anyway, get to the lion place. So we go out, we get settled in, and we actually get there at a decent time of the day, early afternoon. And so by evening time, we go out and we shoot the rifle in, check the site.
Which seems important.
It seems that way.
When you're shooting,
I'm going to shoot a lion. I feel like we need to be,
we need to be there.
We need to make sure that the old rifle.
You don't think the noise would scare it off?
I don't know if it's a risk I'm worth taking.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Make sure it's on.
Anyway, yeah, and I requested to do that also after they said, where do we sign?
After war sport. I mean, I drive to Adam's house, and I'm like, I'm going to re-sight my rifle in. Driving to Phallus.
We've gotten really good at sighting rifles in
So
here.
he had me.
We have got good at it, by the way.
Had me sighted in at 50 yards, and I was an inch high at 50 yards, and I said, I'm good with that.
I'd be like, how good am I at about 200 yards?
So I'm
50 yards with a lion just.
I'm figuring from 0 to 100, I'm good. And anyway, so we go out and we start tracking. Now the vehicles that they use to try and cut these tracks, they've got 2 seats mounted in the front of the vehicle, like on the bumper area.
Okay.
For spotters and trackers. So there's one on each side, and we're in the back, and looking, and my eyesight's not very good, and I don't say that facetiously. And so we're going along. We see all kinds of really beautiful animals, just gorgeous animals, but don't see any lion. And then we see the spotters I don't see some lion track.
Okay.
So we get off the vehicle and we start looking at these lion track, and we start tracking these lion. Now this ground is the Kalahari Desert is sand.
Right. Okay.
But this particular area of the Kalahari, they have what is known as sugar sand.
Oh, like real fine stuff?
And it is, and I am not exaggerating, it is 7 to 10 times more difficult than walking on a beach. Because you walk on a beach, your feet will settle down, about a half inch or so, and then you're on decent ground.
Yeah.
Okay. No. This stuff it's the most tiring walking stuff I've ever walked in. And I mean, my entire life, and I've been in some weird stuff in the military. But anyway, nonetheless, it was terrible. And it will drag your legs off, especially for an old man that doesn't pick up his feet.
Nothing, your hips hurting?
Oh, everything hurt.
Yeah.
And this was
Can you
just
get a trailer into it?
Oh, my God.
You can get a trailer. And this is just before, to backtrack just a little bit, a week before I went to Africa.
Henry, this guy, the mental picture of Brad Clay on a trailer.
We're gonna have to get a picture.
Am I on a wheelchair? Am I in a wheelchair?
You're in one of those wheelchairs, but it's one of those cool
scoot
ones.
around.
It's like one of those wheelchairs that's got the tracks.
The track. That's a track mobile.
We'll upgrade it to
gotten
that.
to it. I've gotten to that
we got
point.
you upgraded.
Yeah. Which is
Can you make
kind of cool.
Can you make arrangements to find one of those?
Yeah.
We'll put it on my trailer or your trailer. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And get him,
call that guy-
and saying this is Brad going hunting.
That guy's a paraplegic.
He's
Be like,
going
no,
into-
he's fat.
He's going into the wilderness hunting.
He's just overweight. I will say
that sugar sand will take him.
I will say
that's
that there was a request for a shirt recently
Oh, really?
on like, hey, love this design from,
Yeah.
and it was wanted to know if we had the ability to make it in an 8X.
Yes. I'll figure it out.
An 8X.
I'll figure it out.
Well,
Which
just-
design was
That's
it?
a big.
Just give him-
buddy, I don't have anything
Give
available
him one
in
of your
8X.
size.
I can
Give
find
him
it.
one of yours.
Well, Henry. Wow, Henry. Wow. Just stuck that knife in between rib 1 and 2 and twisted it.
Just saying.
Wow. He's got a
Give him one of yours.
Wow. Henry just stuck the knife in deep.
Man. Anyway, so that wraps up our podcast.
And
I think
cue
you
the
guys-
music.
I would say I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Oh, man.
Oh
Yeah.
man!
Oh, which design was it?
It was just one of the shirts. He was like, "I like this shirt." I don't remember.
Well, I
which
didn't know
one
if it was like the Tape Deck podcast shirt or
No. It was Final Descent
Final
shirt.
Descent?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it podcast shirts not Final Descent?
They are. It was just but a regular one of our Final Descent shirts and interested in it
Yeah.
in an 8X.
That's a lot. That's a
a
big,
lot of shirt. And it's a lot of
big-
man.
That's like 4 people's.
That would be.
I could camp
It's more
in
than
that.
double me. I can
It's
tell you
big.
that much.
It's a lot of fabric.
It's a lot of.
I could camp in that.
Oh, no doubt. It's hyena proof.
It's real thick canvas.
Real thick canvas.
It'd have to be.
Sure. Anyway, so back to our
Okay, so we
the sand. It's
cut
a
these
disaster.
lion tracks. I say we, being generous to me. We cut these lion tracks and we get out and we walk for a while.
Shut up, Adam. Golly, we can get past this trailer. Mental picture. Little utility, it's just a little utility trailer you haul a lawnmower on with a gate that lays down.
Tandem axle.
Little tandem axle. Little trailer, the gate lays down. It's got a winch system in it too.
Oh
man.
Please continue.
Okay, so we cut these lion tracks and we follow them a while, and the trackers say that's 2 lionesses,
Okay.
and I don't know.
Well, that's why they're professionals. This is what they do.
I recognize a lion track after I'm told it's a lion track. So no, I kind of know what a cat track looks like.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's getting late in the afternoon. So they decide, you don't hunt lion at night.
Seems logical.
You do not hunt things that eat you at night like that. So
Seems logical.
especially lions. So we go back and we have a nice evening meal and so on and so forth, and have a good sleep. The next morning, get up reasonable time, and we head out.
Okay.
And we drive along a little while, and they cut these lion tracks again. Same 2 female.
Okay.
2 lionesses. And
you guys get some video footage of them eventually, right?
yes.
I think you did, yeah.
And so anyway, they said, okay. So we get off and we start tracking them. And they're going back the way we just came, more or less, but off the side and then curl back in. So we go in, we follow them for like a long time. To me, it seemed like a long ways. So, but probably, less than, probably less than 500 or 600 yards. So
okay.
Not that far, but
Yeah.
seemed like a long way in this sugar
Nothing
sand.
from a hover round.
No, nothing at all. So we get back on the truck then, and we go from where they were coming from, because the tracker said those lionesses are making a circle. Okay, I mean they
Around whom?
Well,
That would be my next question.
yeah. So we go on into the lion's den, so to speak, travel on the ways, and go about. Oh gosh, not very far. We're on the truck for 100, 150 yards, and they stop, and over in the horizon area were a couple of buzzards that were circling, and so they
No matter
said,
what continent you're on, you know what that means.
so they said, okay, probably those lionesses got a kill last night, and those buzzards are waiting.
Let's go over to it.
So we pull down. We're probably a mile away,
Okay.
and we pull down and park, and get off the truck and walk in, and we try and get into where we're walking into the wind. It wasn't very strong, but there was a breeze.
Yeah.
And keeping our eye on the buzzards and so forth, and I'm following along the people that know what the heck they're doing, and so go a little ways and stop and glass and the normal hunting stuff, and so then finally we stop after about probably 3/4 of a mile, maybe
Okay.
a little further. We stop, and the lion PH, the guy that runs the lion, said, right over there. He pointed over. I didn't see squat.
Okay.
That's wild.
With my eyes, and my PH, Stanley said, right there. So I'm glassing, and I said, I see it. I mean, we're 300 yards from it.
Okay.
From this lion. And this male lion is sitting there eating a sable. Lying there eating a sable. And so they said, those lionesses killed that sable last night. That's a fresh kill, because there was fresh blood
Okay.
still. And said that lioness is killed at the last night or early this morning. and then he ran them off. And he said those lionesses are right over there. The tracker did. He said about a quarter of a mile.
So they're gonna sit back, let him get full, and then come back down. And
Yeah, he'd run them off.
Right.
And so they said, that's our lion. I said, all right, beautiful, because this thing is gorgeous.
Oh, he's
He's
unbelievable.
So we start meandering now, and meandering, zigzagging and doing all this kind of stuff. And after we probably meandered up towards that lion for a good 45 minutes.
Yeah, it's just taking your time.
Taking our time, easing our way from one bush to another.
Yeah.
Now, he knew we were there probably when we were about 200 yards.
Okay.
And because we had the wind in our favor, and so everything was in our favor. So we got within about 200 yards before he recognized we were there, and he moved. Excuse me. He moved from where he was to around the other side where he could keep his eye on us while he was still eating.
Yeah, he wasn't leaving his lunch.
He wasn't leaving that kill. And what they had told me previously was, normally speaking, the normal operation is you spot the lion and whatever they're doing, and then you get up on, you bump them. They'll run away.
Okay.
And you can bump them normally one or two times, and then they're going to say,
they'll stop. I've had enough. Yeah.
We're having it out right now.
So Scott Schultz, used to own Scent Blocker, gives an incredible testimony story and talks about bumping a lion, and eventually the lion says, "Enough's enough. I'm standing my ground."
Right.
That he talked about that in hunting a lion when he hunted one. And
Well,
it's an incredible. He uses that as a powerful testimony, but
that's what they talk about, how they work, and as a normal rule. So when we get up to about 100 yards, he's getting antsy. The tail's starting to move around and so forth, and they said, we're going to wait right here and see what he does, but be ready, because he could charge us. And so,
Jeez.
So
and if you haven't seen this, listen, this is on our YouTube. This is on Carbon TV. Go check it out, because listen, this is when you mentally picture a male lion in Africa, this is him. This is what you picture.
He's
like,
gorgeous.
this is it. He is big.
This is Mufasa.
Big mane, gorgeous, giant killer. Yeah. This is what you mentally picture. And so any moment he
was
charge.
the epitome, as far as
He's the epitome.
The Lord
You
blessed
did
me to no end.
Yep.
But anyway, we kind of moved up just a little bit further, and when he bolted to my right, to our right.
Okay.
And he didn't go but about, he didn't go 10 yards. And he ducked under a tree, and he kind of hunched down and looked at us. And so we just stood there for a little bit. He was watching us, but he didn't leave that carcass.
Right.
And so we moved on up, and we got.
I mean, if you ever ate sable, delicious.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Delicious. I haven't actually. I've never been to Africa, but
Well, I'm telling you, sable is good. It's almost as good as eland.
I was going to make the guess. I mean, I was
assuming.
I was assuming.
So we get on up about 60 yards, 75 yards. We're about 75 yards. And that tail's going crazy. And he's looking us dead on, and his head is up. And the PH said, "Can you make that shot?" And I said, Yeah, I can make that shot. And he said, "Okay." He said, "Right at the top of where the breastbone would be, right where the neck joint." I said, "Okay." In other words, right below the neck, throat, just right into the middle of the body.
Okay.
So anyway, they set the sticks up, and I shot him, and he just, boom.
Me down.
And so they said, "That was a perfect shot. Now let's go." So we went around then and to the side, because one thing in Africa, you don't shoot an animal once.
Yeah.
You always put an insurance shot on, especially with something that can eat.
Kill you.
So we walked around, and they said,
can eat you.
They told me, said, "Okay." He was laying on his side, said, right behind right shoulder. I said, you don't want me to shoot the shoulder? No, right behind it, 3 inches below. I said, okay. So I put another one in him, and all it did was just when the impact of the bullet, the animal did that. He was dead.
He was done. Yeah.
He was dead already, but that was the insurance shot because that took out the heart and lungs. So then we could go in and make sure that
which has to be an incredibly knowing that, but walking up on an apex predator like a lion.
They won't let you walk up there to it when it's first down like that. Even after I put that insurance shot on, they keep you back, said, you stay back here and you be ready. They said, go ahead and reload again and be ready in case.
And you've shot him
so they went right up. They went right up to the front or up to him, and of course the way they check them normally is they will poke them with a rifle barrel on the eye. They'll touch the eye. Because if that eye doesn't move, they are not alive. So then as soon as they did that, they said, come on up. You can unload now. If you want, so I did.
But you still got 2 lionesses watching you do this whole thing.
Oh,
right?
yeah. And so I actually asked them, I said, what about those lionesses up here? Do we have to worry about that? And they said, nope. Those lionesses are going to stay back there until we get through with what we're doing and get rid of him.
Wow.
And so after we left, and there was a picture of a partly eaten carcass in the video as well.
Yeah.
And he just did not want to leave that carcass. And I asked him, I said, how come you not to go over? Because he wasn't through with that.
And something that as a fat guy I appreciate.
Well, we didn't put him on a trailer.
You didn't have to put him on a trailer?
No.
That's good.
No.
That's good.
But anyway, it was a phenomenal hunt. It was a phenomenal lion that the Lord blessed me with, and I just cannot.
Well, and again, people can tune in and watch that. You can go to our YouTube channel, or you can watch that on Carbon TV. An incredible, and I'm so glad you're able to capture that memory and have that forever.
Me too.
And we were able to share that and hopefully promote Stanley, because like we talked about, there's a lot of shady operations out there, but we can personally give a stamp of approval, and that's a big deal to us. Listen, we don't just give a stamp of approval to any outfitter. I left Nebraska, and my wording to that outfitter was, I can't, in good conscience, recommend somebody comes and hunts with you. I have to leave. I can't put you on TV and say, come hunt here. I cannot do that. I have left outfitters twice in my career, said I can't recommend somebody to hunt with you. But we can 100% put our stamp of approval on Stanley. And if you want to go to Africa, if that's a bucket list for you, the only person we would recommend is you go with Stanley and hunt with him.
May I give you one quick story?
Yeah,
I'll try and keep it quick.
Come on.
I purchased at another thing an African hunt for 4 people.
You cheated on me?
I did. And for 4 people.
You cheated on me, went to another banquet and bought something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I figured you were busy eating at the moment. So I went.
It's
just saying.
Just digging the wound.
So I bought this hunt for 4 people because I wanted to go into this area of the Africa. It was in the Karoo.
Okay.
Way down south, north of Port Elizabeth.
Oh yeah, everybody knows Karoo.
They have an animal down there that is not available in other parts of Africa, and it's called the gray, or actually called the Val Reebok.
Okay.
And it looked kind of like a Dyka with long horns. And so anyway, nonetheless, beautiful animal, and that's what I wanted. Well, I knew Stanley didn't have them, and I asked Stanley one day because I went up to him a couple of hunts after that. I told him, I said, look, I feel guilty about cheating on you.
Yeah.
Seriously. And I said, but I bought this hunt, and it's for 4 people, and I have an open space. There's 3 of us going. And I said, I have an open space. And he said, really? He said, I'll pay my share. I said, no, you won't. But if you would like to go, because he had never seen one in the wild.
Oh, wow.
Born and raised, he had never seen a Val Reebok. They call them volleys, and he'd never seen a Val Reebok in the wild. So anyway, he comes down, and we hunt, It was absolutely a horrible experience. The area was wonderful. It was free range. Mm-hmm. It was about 100 and I think they said it was 190 something thousand acres of free range.
Okay.
And there was game there. That's not the problem. But the pHs were absolutely awful. Stanley did more pHing than they did.
Yeah.
The facilities, we moved one, the first facilities were good. The second facility was absolutely, I guarantee you, a Motel 6 would look like the Hilton.
I got you.
And at any rate, it was terrible.
Trust me, me and Adam know about shady hotels.
I would never, ever, if somebody told me they were going to hunt with them, I would never, ever
recommend
them.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I would say, if you haven't paid for it yet, you might rethink it.
Gotcha.
Talk to Stanley.
But that goes to tell you about how good of an operation that Stanley does, and what a good man he is. You're going to have a great hunt, and I'm excited that Daniel and DJ Arms from
yes.
Film for us, also with Arms Family Homestead. They're going to Africa with Stanley. They've already made contact, reached out to him about lining up their trip. So that's incredible. And then, really wanted to just kind of end a little bit here as we wrap everything up, Henry. It's just, one of the, obviously we have a love for guns. We have a love for hunting. We have all those things. But, you're a Christian, and I think probably part of we've had this conversation when you had the store. It was a little bit of a win-win for you. You're like, hey, I'm advertising for my business, but I'm able to support the kingdom of God through what we stand for, and trying to use common ground of the outdoors to share the gospel. But tell us a little bit about just for you and what your relationship with the Lord means to you.
Well, obviously my relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ is the number one thing in my world. And number two is my wife and family.
Oh, listen, Henry, you outpunted your coverage. Do you know that?
Oh yeah.
Listen.
In my day, we called it marrying up.
Marrying up, buddy. It's so far up you can't reach. You couldn't climb that high.
Extension ladders don't reach that far.
That's exactly right, buddy. You got a good one.
Yeah. So but my relationship with the Lord Jesus is number one. I do two things when I'm hunting. As an example, number one, I name all my animals.
Okay.
That's kind of weird, kind of childish maybe, but I do it.
Seems very Genesis of you.
But I pray over every one of them.
No, and that's cool too. In both of those episodes, you pray over the hippo and your lion, and it's a cool moment, when you're thanking the Lord for the opportunity, for what He's provided for you.
He's been so good to me. I mean, here I am, an old fat man that just, no money and so forth, and He's made it available or arranged it actually that I could actually do these things. I could have never done it on my own.
Yeah.
This is all the Lord's doing on allowing me to do this and making it possible. And what can I say? The Lord is good to me.
He has.
I don't know why He likes me, but I don't want to argue about it.
Yeah, and it really is a beautiful thing, and that's been really the connecting point for us. Obviously, like I said, we've loved guns, we've loved hunting, we've had a lot of great conversations about those things, but I want to say thank you for believing in our mission of using the common ground of the outdoors to share the gospel, and you have played such a big role in that, Henry. I got just from not only through the TV show and you advertising and doing that and supporting us, but coming to our ministry banquet and supporting us, and it's these little things. I got a message yesterday from a guy. I'll read it. And just the opportunities that God through the show allows us to have to be able to go and to speak and to share and do those things. But I got a message from a guy that says, hey man, my uncle was baptized this past weekend. He said there were a few things that helped him see the truth. And this guy's from Florida. He said, but your talk at the Wild Game Dinner was one of them. Just wanted you to know, keep it up. You're building the kingdom. And honestly, Henry, like stuff like that guy, like having the opportunity to be able to do outdoor ministry full time, you going to Africa and Stanley donating, like both of them played a role in that guy coming to know the Lord. You know what I mean? Like how cool is that full circle? And you play a huge role in that. And by coming to our banquet, supporting our ministry, and then when you had your business advertising with with the show, like, allowed us to be able to continue to produce Final Descent Outdoors, to share the gospel, people to say, hey, I love what they stand for. I want them to come and speak at this event, and be able to do that. And for that, like, you see full circle, like, there's this, you know, his uncle has to be, he's 45 years old. So his uncle's going to be what, you know, 60s probably. And statistically speaking, for that 60-year-old, you know, whatever age man to come to know the Lord, statistically, like, that doesn't happen.
Right.
And God has been incredibly faithful to use the common ground of the outdoors through Final Descent Outdoors to be able to share the gospel. And your support of us has helped play a huge role in that.
Well, it's been my pleasure what little dab I've supported to do so. But I think the show and you and the staff just does good work for the Lord.
Yeah, it's Adam does a pretty good job.
It's the same reason. It's funny because we joke about it, because there are moments where we literally are like, what are we doing this for?
It's a lot of work, man.
It's a lot of work, but then you come back to it and you go, if it was that one guy, it was worth it.
If there's one soul saved.
Yeah.
It was worth it. It was worth it.
Absolutely.
And we know people that have been saved through this podcast. I mean, which is crazy. I mean, we had a guy say, like, I literally listened to your podcast tiling my bathroom. I accepted Jesus. He goes, I was already on my knees.
I was already on my knees.
Wow. And I accepted Christ by listening to this podcast. And I'll be like, which episode was it? The Meth Maker 3000 episode? Which, you know, ridiculous, you know, stuff we talk about sometimes. But being able to come back to, like, the truth of it is that our substance at the end of the day is Jesus.
Oh, absolutely.
Our substance is Jesus, and being able to try to speak that truth and to let people know that there's more to life, and Jesus is the answer. Mm-hmm. And you know, God, like I said, God's been faithful to allow us to use the common ground of the outdoors to do that. And you've played a huge role in helping us do that, Henry. And we appreciate your friendship. We appreciate you helping us with any firearms that come in through partners from CVA. We ship them to you. You come. We always do paperwork with you and pick those up. And you do a ton of stuff for us. And I just want to, you know, verbally say I appreciate you. And I'll take a fat joke here and there along the way because I appreciate you so much. I really do. So God. You're a good man, and I'm thankful we got to talk about Stanley too, and hopefully listen. People go. I'll put up here at the end. I'll put up his website. Love for you to go and learn more about his operation.
I'll tell you a quick story later or now, whichever you want.
Go for it. Yeah.
The first time I went over there. And Josh and DeLacy were there.
Yeah.
So we get there that night. I get in that night, evening we do, and we have a dinner. They have a dinner ready for us, a meal. And so I told them, I said, if you don't mind, I'll say grace. I said, I love it. So I said a grace with it. The chef, her name was McQuarty, was there, and so had prepared all this for us. And so anyway, after she left, after she cleaned her part up and left, the PH that I had at the time said, you know, McQuarty usually says the grace. I said, oh, man, I haven't been here 15 minutes.
I've already offended the cook. The number one person not to offend.
I've already insulted the cook.
Oh, man.
And so he kind of laughed. He said, no, but he said, you know, just information. So in the morning and evening meals, now lunchtime is a little bit loose, but I would say that or whatever. But anyway, then she would say the grace. So, but I apologized to her. So
I love
said,
that.
Look, I didn't mean to.
I didn't mean to steal your spotlight here. I'll let you talk to the Lord on our behalf here.
She was boy, you talk about a phenomenal cook.
She can lay it down.
Damn it at Christmas.
Well, sounds like it's right up my alley. I may need a trailer. May need one.
You don't go there to lose weight.
Yeah, 100%. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning into our podcast. Listen, if there's anything going on spiritually with you too that you just need prayer about, you want to visit with us about, man, we would love to do that. We'd love to pray with you. Let us know how we can be praying for you and encouraging your walk with the Lord. You can visit finaldescentoutdoors.com. Send us an email. You can find us on social media. Final Descent Outdoors on Facebook, FD Outdoors on Twitter and Instagram. You can send us a message. We'd love to pray for you, encourage you in any way. We'd love for you to check out Stanley's website. Phenomenal operation in South Africa. Congratulations to Henry on an unbelievable and you're fixing to go back for a leopard. It's fixing to happen, right?
Yep.
11?
A leopard and a rhino.
A rhino.
We'll have you back on to talk about those maybe. That is incredible. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you follow Hurley Films on the old YouTubes as well. And
And if you find yourself tiling a bathroom floor today and realize that you need Jesus, just ask him to save you, and then let us know, because we want to talk to you.
We'd love to know more about it.
We'd love to talk to you about it.
Yep.
So,
all right,
God, do is ask.
That's it. God bless you. Thanks, Henry, for being on today, purchasing this at our ministry banquet. Money not well spent.
I don't know. We got some pretty good digs in there.
No, we did. We did.
Got some pretty dang good digs in there.
See you guys.